Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to COASTER-net Update. We've got more breaking news from all over the country. We're on part
And
two.
Canada.
And Canada. Well, who
Hey,
knows? Not yet, not yet, not yet. Um, so that kind of fell off the face of the earth too, that whole discussion. So anyway, we got part two of our survey discussions. Um, Catch us up on part one where we talk about Cedar Point, Magic Mountain, and Great Adventure, and give you some thoughts on these surveys. So this show, we're going to jump right into the surveys, not give you all the exposition at the front. And we're going to start with Kings Island, where we have a car ride, a themed car ride shows the New England car ride. What's the New England car ride?
so they've got a like an electric car ride in their kids area, and you'd like this, Andy. It's got they themed it to dinosaurs, so you're driving through like a dinosaur safari.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah, I know you'd like that. So I don't know if they're talking about building something like that, or if they're talking about possibly retheming the antique cars to kind of give it a little bit more of a storyline.
Yeah, that would be interesting because like antique cars are kind of like played out. Like we're
Yeah.
we're about 100 years after the
Yeah.
Model T now, so
Yet ironically, not that old.
yeah, not that old. So then they also an indoor outdoor coaster that's inverted that shows like the Arthur style ride.
Yeah.
We've seen these in other places, stuff like this. The Jurassic Park has one by a different manufacturer over in Beijing, I believe, in one of the
Mhm.
Universal parks in China. So there's that. I don't know
That
what
could
where.
that could be a good candidate for the crypt building.
Oh, it that actually would be actually because I'm like that's because I'm like I was just about to ask where would you get a building from or what would you put in it? You already have a building, so there you go.
Yeah.
A stunt show, you can keep that.
Okay.
You can keep the
It
stunt
it is
shows.
it is a family pleaser.
But and they also have a lot of theaters there as well that you could just add a stunt show. It would probably cost you $0 because over by in Vertigo, which is missing track now, by the way.
I
So
think Invertigo. I told you when I was there this summer, it looked like Invertigo was done.
yeah. It's officially missing track at this point, right out of the station, so it's not going anywhere.
Mhm.
At least on the track, it's not. Maybe to the scrap heap it is. But they have those theaters all over Kings Island, especially that one right by Invertigo. I think it's the Wilderness Theater, maybe, is what they call it.
Yeah.
Don't
No, it's
crucify me.
it's called like something Wolf, I think, or
Oh,
I don't know.
I think it's still there too.
I've only been there. I've only been there the one visit for it wasn't something we were looking at, but when you combine those two plots together, that is a chunk of space.
That's a huge chunk of space, and it's right at the front of the park.
Yeah.
That there's always been that discussion of, do we want to redo that front, make a statement coaster, kind of like Cedar Point? I don't know if that was always the belief when like Banshee was going in, because
Yeah.
that was like the flavor of the month is the entrance coaster, and that's kind of like fallen off now, and nobody really talks about that kind of stuff anymore. Um, and here we go. Vekoma multi-launch thrill coaster shows the
With
Ghost Rider layout again.
So the same layout that we were talking about before, that would be a great entrance statement, or it could fit in the vortex plot. I mean,
Yeah.
this is another one that I know that I totally fell right into the Kings Island trap. Every time, as I was walking around, like they could build something here, they could build
Yeah.
something there.
They have so much space at that
Yeah.
park that's just like just plots of land that are completely open. Right off the midway, we're not even talking about the extended space that they have at that park. That's massive as well.
Yeah.
Um, and I saw online the other day a very convincing argument of maybe Siren's Curse should have went in the Vortex plot instead of to Cedar Point. And I said that was actually a pretty convincing argument that they made. I'm like, that wouldn't have made sense. And
Yeah.
that's it, right? Just the
Yeah, and another thing, if they had taken Siren's Curse or they get this multi-launch, this park needs inversions. That was one thing I noticed. Like Flight of Fear, not really my favorite, not worth the wait, but that and Banshee are the only operating rides there that go upside
yeah.
down. So like that is a hole that needs to be filled.
Yeah, and I think a nice Vekoma like would fit there as well. I don't foresee well, I don't know. Maybe they could. Yeah, because it'd be different. Never mind. Strike that thought. But yeah,
Let's go get some poutine instead.
okay. Go to Now Canada. Canada. Now this was a really interesting survey here because
It is.
um, let's right out the door. We're gonna start with a Mac Extreme Spinner, a la Time Traveler down at Silver Dollar City,
Yeah.
or Ride to Happiness that some people argue is a top five roller coaster in the world.
Yeah.
Um,
And
that
and
would
we
be
we do suspect that they're working with Mach for the Great Adventure Project, so it is one of the manufacturers that is still in their good graces.
yeah, and that would be really exciting because Canada is always one of those parks that has a decent lineup, but has some of the shittiest rides you've ever seen in your life too. They just got rid of Time Traveler, I believe. They closed that up, right?
Time Warp, yeah.
Time Warp, excuse me, Time Warp. I'm on Silver Dollar City, so Time Warp.
Yeah.
They have a Vekoma SLC, which is still there that they could easily just scrap. I no tears will be shed if
No.
anyone's listening. I know Grace Peacock is their PR. No one will cry over that one. Um, and I feel that they have a real possibility of making that park into something real special, even for rides. Like it already is a very great park. Alpen Fury has been receiving rave reviews,
Yeah.
people raving about that experience. So to follow that up with another world-class roller coaster, you might set all of Canada on fire with that because like people, the park's already busting at the seams for attendance and money being made. So you add in another world class coaster, and it becomes, we're now talking in the discussion not only a great theme park, but is it the best theme park in possibly the world? I don't know.
I don't know. But you were talking about shitty coasters, and they've got a fix for that in their next
But there you
option,
go.
which is possibly RMCing something. Now,
Like so like we
this
go
was another shocker, I think.
like and they use Steel Vengeance in the
They,
picture.
they do use Steel Vengeance in the picture. So now
That's a
this
high
is
bar
something
to
that,
set that you're going to
yeah,
use Steel Vengeance and I
yeah,
like
yeah. They better not show like a picture of Steel Vengeance and buy like Moose on the Loose or something like that. But
right like so Canadian Mindbuster's really the only candidate there. Like they have the
the
coaster up
Wild
front.
Beast and Canadian
Yeah.
Monster, yeah.
Well, and Wild Beast, I guess, might be a candidate. Like,
If they throw their own like lift hill on it, like anything works, really. But
yeah,
it's one of those parks that people have been clamoring for this company to come in, and so far they've not done any work in Canada. So I wonder if there's a restriction that's keeping them from operating in Canada. And again, this could just be like a survey, that's letting us know that we're still looking at revitalizing old wooden roller coasters with a new, fresh uh, layout like maybe Timberwolf maybe they don't have a survey, but maybe Timberwolf could be like something that they could do that too. But it's nice to see that it's on their radar.
well, and what's back in the day, and I do not know if this is true or not, but I heard on the internets that back in the day, RMC was not allowed to work in Canada because of union issues, and I want to say that Canada requires unions, and RMC is a non-union labor group, and there might have been some other stuff there too, but back in the day, the discussion was is that they were not allowed to work in Canada. As you know, they sometimes work under different companies overseas.
Yeah, so in Europe they actually fly under Vekoma's banner. So since Vekoma seems to be the flavor of the month, I wonder if they could bring that, as Canada is an international destination for us. I wonder if that they could bring that over and fly under their banner there as well.
Yeah, so like, and that's the thing is like that was always the discussion because there was a lot of candidates at La Ronde and Canada's Wonderland that never really came up in any discussions whatsoever, and people started looking at, well, maybe there's a reason why RMC just can't work in Canada, and that was, I believe, I thought it was unions, to be honest. That was years ago though. They were talking about a decade ago almost at this point.
Yeah.
So And also
But
we have a water park expansion, or excuse me, yeah, water park expansion, right? Is that?
and then something else I wasn't expecting, a log flume. With all these log flumes coming out, like they're talking about putting one in. So that was pretty surprising as well to see on the survey.
And once again, we would probably assume a log flume, maybe like what we're seeing at Dollywood, maybe what we
Yeah.
saw at or excuse me, at SeaWorld San Antonio. That we see a lot of modern log flumes out
Yeah.
there that are going into parks now. So,
And Carowinds is building one right now. So,
okay.
so they do have somebody that they're working with on this.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's Canada. Let's move on over to Six Flags Great
To you,
America.
yeah.
So this is right in my neck. So they just got Raksasha, they just got the B&M Dive.
Yeah.
So they're
So
also
these are going to be all like pretty mild suggestions, right? Like low cost suggestions. No?
mild suggestion. So we got
What do you
the
got?
a Vekoma family multi-launch that we saw in the Cedar Point one, right?
Yeah, we've seen it in a bunch of them. Yeah.
Yeah. A flying theater, which
Interesting.
it's new.
Yeah.
They don't have anything like that anywhere.
No.
It,
And
it almost
it's also a Vekoma product possibly.
it almost like back in the day they had Spaceship America, something like that. So at the front of the park, basically where the water park is and basically where like Max Force is, they used to have a full-on space shuttle, like a replica space shuttle up there.
Okay,
And
cool.
and it was sort of like a dark like a flying theater, like a 3D theater thing.
Okay.
That you would sit. I was real little, so please forgive me.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
thought it was like you moved in your seat in that kind of thing, or maybe you
Yeah.
just sat
Great
there.
Adventure had one for like fighter jets or something too.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That concept. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that they try and revitalize that. I don't like flying theaters personally, unless they're Avatar themed and have really cool stuff on them. But you can keep your Sorens as much as you want. I have no desire to go on another Soren ever in my life.
And then
Um,
the last one's got to be cheap, right?
the last one, yeah, why not put a Giga Coaster in, right?
Why not?
Why not? One of my main complaints about Great America that they kind of addressed with Raksasha um, is, and even Raksasha's still on the small side, is I don't feel that anything they've put in since Raging Bull really feels like a full coaster to me. They've always been these half coasters or three quarters of a coaster. X Flight is a nice size for a wing coaster, but we saw much bigger versions everywhere else.
Yeah.
Dollywood, Cedar Point, you name it. Raksasha for dive coasters on the smaller side. We see this year, with Tormenta going into into Dallas and over Texas, the full size. So
Right.
I feel like Great America, even like Goliath, the RMC coaster. I have to specify which Goliath it is. Even with Goliath, it's 200 feet. It's not 200 feet tall. It's right under 200 feet. 200-foot drop. Um, it still feels like half a coaster. Like it's real fun. It's real amazing. You do a lot of cool stuff on it, but it's nowhere near what other parks got with
Yeah.
their RMCs. And I
But
feel that they need another major coaster that feels like a full coaster. Great America's in a huge market between Chicago and Milwaukee. They've been doing great, so maybe there's not really a financial need to do it. Um, but I feel like we get all these half coasters, Joker and Max Force and you name it. And I that's why I was shocked when we actually got a very good Justice League and not like half a Justice League.
but now, Andy, everything in that park that's tall is about 180 feet.
Yeah.
So, do you think they're gonna like tunnel 100 feet under the earth for this thing? Is it gonna like you're gonna drop on one side of the park and pop up out of the ground on the other side of the park? I mean, like this has just got to be do you want a big thrill coaster kind of thing?
Well, and the problem is that the old wives' tale out of Great America is that they can't get a height variance. So there's something to it because Some people say it's because of O'Hare and the airlines, but that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense
It's
because
not really near the airlines. Yeah,
it's
it's got
not
to be
really
something
near
else.
it, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Some people said it's just the neighborhood. That the localities won't allow for higher heights. Skytrek Tower in the park, in the front of the park, does go up 330 feet though.
Okay.
So they do have a structure already there that goes up 330 feet. Now, I don't know what the rules of such things are. So if you were to take Skytrek Tower down, could you add in something that can go up 330 feet without, I
Maybe
don't,
that's where the lift hill's going, right there, Andy.
right there, just put the lift hill right there. It's a very weird spot for a lift hill, though. That's the problem because you're smack dab in the front of the park. I don't know how that's going to work out for a Giga. Um,
That's a front gate statement.
I will say that there is space in the park for a Giga. People will wonder where, and it's towards probably the side of the park. I like they do have a wilderness theater over there. I think
Mhm.
that's where I got the name from.
Okay.
That they rarely ever use. There's a whole bunch of picnic pavilions that they probably use for school groups and stuff. They just reopened their raft ride, but you could probably shoehorn something back there, something like Orion maybe. Um,
I
like
I'd rather they go P305, if they can't go back up off the ground.
oh, hmm, interesting. Um, but I've always said that Great America, a lot like what we talked about Magic Mountain on the last show, has a very actually I would say Great America has a better supporting collection than Magic Mountain does because Great America's collection is top notch. They just need the one headliner. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for the one headliner, and they keep giving me supporting characters when I need the star. I need the star, and that star would be a Giga. It really would be. And I think once they put in a Giga, now you have a real argument for being a top-notch theme park with a Giga, with things like X Flight and Roxasha and Joker and Max Force and I'm in X. I said X Flight already, and I'm missing
Raging
something.
Bull
Oh,
is good
Raging
too.
Bull. I always
We love
forget
Raging
Raging
Bull, yeah.
and Goliath. You have a really, really nice collection of roller coasters all of a sudden, and I've always said it's just missing the headliner. So to put in a Giga there, I think would once again set the world on fire. Um, and just be out of this world amazing that now you're talking about what I'm seeing on all these surveys just to talk about everything is a lot of these parks, and me and Danny have had this discussion in the past 5-10 years ago, that a lot of these parks feel they're right on the cusp of being really, really great. And they just need one or two. And over the last 10 years, they've put in some of those pieces to bring them there. And some of them just need that one final push, that one last addition. And like Great America here, it's a giga. It really is. It's
Yeah.
it's a
Well,
major headlining coaster.
if you live in the Chicago or Milwaukee land area and get this survey, let them know. Do you want a family coaster or do you want a Giga coaster? Should
No,
be an
no,
easy
no. We
choice.
don't we don't need any more family coasters. Like granted, like a family coaster would be nice, but a family like I live an hour to an hour and a half away depending on traffic, and it's a park I haven't been to in 5 years. So so that's the mindset that for me to go there, like I thought, well, Justice League was a really nice addition. I thought Joker and Max Force were really nice additions. I thought Goliath might have been the ride to pull me there more often, and I just haven't gone. So like when I'm looking at trips, like I don't even consider going to Great America sometimes because I feel that they need that one more coaster and they need a people eater too. And
Yeah.
that's the other part of it that they've installed a lot of things that have low cap. Max Force was running one train forever. They just put the second train back on, I believe. Um, so having a Giga, and I'm assuming B&M Giga, but you brought in Intamin there all
Yeah.
of a sudden,
Yeah.
so that's an interesting thought. Because an Intamin Giga, I don't think we're ready for that discussion yet. I don't think
No.
we're ready for the discussion of Intamin Giga in Chicago.
Well, we can switch over to my local park that I barely visit, and that's Dorney Park.
Dorney.
Yeah, because they've got kind of a stale lineup. Iron Menace has gotten me there a couple times, but they've got a list of ideas here. None of them are super interesting.
None of them.
Uh, we do have a Starflyer, which would be the second Starflyer in a Legacy Cedar Fair park. We've got the same art engineering, like Racing Railways, story driven kids coaster. They've got the antique cars, so uh, we'll just
I
gloss
thought
over the
we had
fact that
those
you said that
already,
that was a
but
100-year-old idea and no good for anybody.
yeah, I thought, and I
Uh,
thought they already had antique cars there. I
I
was
don't.
just there.
Maybe they used to. I don't know.
I think they took them out for Iron Menace. I think they used to be up front over there.
No, there was Iron Menace is like where Laser was. It's like where in Vertigo their
Yeah,
Stinger was.
and it's also where
Um,
the Windseeker was supposed to go
okay.
because they built
Uh,
the plaza, but they never put it
Yeah,
there.
so they do, the thing about Dorney is they actually do have plenty of space because they still haven't touched the dinosaurs plot. So an
Yeah.
antique car ride could go through there. They've even got a path that it can go on. Family raft ride, that would be for the water park though. And then basically a extended disco. So I think they had a picture of Surf Dog as the picture.
Ooh, I do love Pipe Scream roller coasters too, so those are
I don't
fun.
think that's a roller coaster. I'd actually go for the Starflyer
I
in
think you'd be wrong on that, but
in Dorney. Well, they generally have a good flat ride collection there, but they have been taking out some of the older ones. So
yeah.
it would be a good kind of like big ride that you could see from everywhere.
Don't
If
touch
they put
Demon
it,
Drop. Don't touch
no,
it.
don't touch Demon Drop. But if you put it back behind Demon Drop, like on the top
Yeah.
of the hill, like where Meteor used to be, I think that
Yeah.
would be a good spot for it.
Because I rode Demon Drop, what was it, last summer? Not this summer, but last summer.
I love Demon Drop.
Still a fine ride. Still a fine ride. That ride still scares the shit out of me, but
That's still the best coaster drop in the park.
yeah.
All right.
I think I do count it actually, to be honest.
I count
Um,
it.
yeah, so Six Flags Over Georgia.
Yeah.
They came in with a mine train. They already
Hmm.
have one of those.
They
Um,
do, yes.
a very long mine train, mind you, with
Uh,
terrible restraints. Oh God.
yeah.
Man. A
A multi-launch.
multi-launch premier coaster, a new
Yeah.
company
So
out of
they're
nowhere.
looking at like an Alpenfury kind of
And like I said, Alpenfury, rave
yeah.
reviews. Like, how are we not talking more about doing more with Premiere all of a sudden?
That would be a cool fit there too. They did have a kid area retheme, but non-specific. So they did retheme one of their kids areas to Super Friends, and
Yeah,
I don't know if that means Snoopy because it did not say Snoopy. It just said retheme.
which who would vote for that? Because who
Yeah,
wants a new
and
theme?
then the least interesting there is water park expansion, which I think actually would be the worst choice for them because they have a standalone water
Yes,
park and a hurricane harbor.
yes.
And what they really should be doing is forcing people to drive to the other water park and turning that water park into more roller coasters.
That's an excellent idea. I like that one.
Yeah, and everybody has to buy two tickets, so it's good for business too.
Well, they all have a pass now, so it doesn't even matter.
Not pass holders, just people.
People. So over Georgia, yeah, the the premier launch coaster is interesting.
That
I
would be
don't really
cool.
understand any of the other ones. I like,
Yeah, the non-specific retheme and a mine train when they have a mine train doesn't make sense unless
yeah.
there's a problem with the mine train. I don't know. So
King's Dominion was generally pretty
they
disappointing.
they've got some weird stuff going on too. They did just spend a lot of money on a good wing coaster.
They
I
did.
liked Rapterra, but they've got since we've been talking about family so much, they have a adults only lagoon for the water park, which I got to assume is just what makes it adult? It's got to be
Close
alcohol,
optional?
right?
Close optional?
Clothes optional
I don't know.
and drinks. I
I
think
don't.
that's what
That's
it's
one
got to
ace
be.
event I will not be attending. God, don't even mention
They'll be
kosher.
selling lots of no boo necklaces at that one.
Yeah, give me the blackout glasses for that area. Good Lord. Um, I don't know if we're ready for that one. The family multi-launch
So yeah,
that
we're
we've
seeing
seen
that one again.
all over the
Um,
place.
I couldn't picture where that would go. Then they've got a family river ride in the water park as well. Mat racers in the water park. I think what this tells me is they're planning on doing something with the water park.
Yeah, it
And
does
the
seem like that.
final, yeah, the final thing is another dark ride. So again, they're using the Phantom Theater graphic for that. Could they be seeing Boo Blasters going away as well?
Well, they also have the old action theater at the front of the park. I don't know if they use that a whole lot.
I've the last time I was there, they were using it for like a stunt show. They were doing like kind of like pop
Yeah,
punk music and like BMX and skateboards and rollerblades and stuff like that.
yeah, you can get rid of all that. That's fine.
Okay.
Just get rid of that. Yeah, so they're like a family multi-launch, like their kid section is actually one of the best kid sections you can go to. It's very spread out, has some good rides. It has rides that you don't see in a lot of other kid sections in other parks.
And
I was really happy with King's Dominion in their kid section. So adding a family multi-launch
and they
coaster.
do have two kid sections too. Like they've got a lot going on there for
Yeah.
everybody.
I don't know if you could shoehorn it into like
I
a
don't know.
Planet Snoopy.
To
It's
to me, the
tiny.
best spot for it would be basically the Anaconda spot, but then you'd have a good family launch coaster right next to a bad family launch coaster, and I don't know if that's what they really want to do.
And I don't even know if the other one is a family launch coaster like that.
What
Kids
the
don't like
stunt
the dark.
the
Oh, you're talking
the
about
Italian job?
I thought you were talking about Flight of Fear, which is
No,
another launch coaster right there.
yeah, they can take that out too.
My bad.
I'm kind of done with those. Yeah.
Take them all out. We need to erase a lot of this Paramount stink from these parks. And we've done it a lot, but there needs to be more done. I'm a big
Now
fan.
that it's Six Flags, we are allowed to criticize all these horrible clones that are
Yeah.
left over. Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that Zimmerman's gone now, we can openly criticize Paramount Parks again. So without fear of repercussions. So the last one on here is Carowinds. You said Worlds of Fun didn't have one? I thought I saw.
Yeah, well, I did skip over Texas because they
Okay.
didn't. They had like Western Show, Dark Ride, like they didn't have that interesting stuff. Discovery Kingdom put out one, but like I said before, I believe it was because I'm not in that area, so I just saw screenshots. I believe it was the Vekoma Ghost Rider
Yeah.
multi-launch, and but that was it. It didn't have something else. It was just like,
Just
do you like this?
just one
Yeah, so
item
I'm
here.
not really sure
So
what they were
it's
asking
which one of
there.
these do you want? Here's one option.
But
Okay, looks like overwhelming support. Let's get that.
Carowin has only good choices here. So like
This
they've got a bunch of good stuff going on.
this is outstanding. So Carowinds, an Alpen Fury style ride with a premier multi-launch. Can't We've already talked about that. Can't go wrong,
Yep.
hopefully. And even like things like Icebreaker at SeaWorld, now that they took the stupid comfort collars off, is a
Icebreaker's
really
super fun.
nice
I love
ride.
that. Yeah.
Is a really nice ride. Like it's smaller. I won't advocate for that, but it's a nice ride. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
sit here and pretend like it's not.
I wouldn't put one in any of the Six Flags or Legacy Cedar Fair parks, but I like Skyrocket twos. I think Little Park should be buying those up like there's no tomorrow.
And I will say, because I rode the Skyrocket 2 at Discovery Kingdom that doesn't have the comfort collars, without comfort collars, that ride is a vastly different experience.
Yeah.
Like,
The one at Lake Capounds
oh yeah,
is the
that's right.
best one.
Yeah,
It's two cars though, so you're already cutting your capacity down, but whoever put that together did a really great job because
yeah.
it still feels glass smooth.
Um, then you have a wing coaster, which
Interesting as well.
and plus keep in mind you've just removed a whole lot of stuff out of Carowinds that um Borg is gone, well, Nighthawk is gone.
Nighthawk is yeah, so we
Yeah.
need this is another entrance statement. You know, when you walk in and you're coming down that path, whatever we're talking about, that's where it should be going.
But I feel that the next option here, dive coaster, is more of where. But so like in the market, you have the dive coaster at Williamsburg,
Yeah.
which is somewhat
It's
close.
kind of close, but yeah.
It's like I like I said, I tell the story all the time. I've ridden. Fury and I-305 in the same day. So
Yeah.
you're in the same general area, but a dive coaster right there in the Nighthawk spot would probably be pretty impressive, right?
Yeah, and now that they're putting like varied layouts, like I kind of don't think it's a problem. Griffin's
Yeah.
a great ride. It rides well still. It doesn't feel old, but it is old. People know it's there, and if they had an updated version of it, whether you're in the Virginia market or the Carolinas, I think you'd be happy about that.
Yeah, and
And
well, they
people
just
like
did
to
it.
watch them.
And in fairness, you could say the same thing about the Wing Coaster too, Kings Dominion and Carowinds being so
Yeah.
close. So if we're going to make the argument for the dive coaster, I should make the argument for the Ring Coaster as well. That you have that same issue there.
And
Um,
and I think you got to throw Dollywood in there too because they're
well,
also not that far.
yeah, like you're all in the same zone with the Wing Coaster. So I don't know. The Wing Coasters, you said you really liked Raptera.
I
It's an
thought it was good.
interesting it's an
Yeah.
interesting idea. Is it like the launch makes it though, right?
It's got a good layout. The launch makes it more fun than some of the other ones, I
Yeah.
think. I mean, like, it's in a park that's got other, like standout rides, so like it's not going to be the shiny new toy forever, but it's still a good addition.
Like I almost is it too on the nose for Carowinds to put in like a B&M flyer? Like is that too on the nose?
Shouldn't it be a Vekoma flyer? I mean, everything's Vekoma except for this
And
survey right here with all these
And
B&Ms
honestly, we
license.
don't have a modern style Vekoma flyer in America. That the only one really is Fly over at Fantasia Land.
Yeah.
Um,
But I mean, yanking a flyer and putting a new flyer in, like, people might not like receive it well.
yeah.
Um, I don't know.
Well,
I
because so
feel
many
like
people hated Nighthawk is the issue.
yeah, I
So
feel
so
like
it,
the
it,
the
it
two B&Ms make a lot of sense. I would personally, again, want to see the Premier coaster, but I don't know.
that's a park with a lot of B&Ms all of a sudden.
Yeah, but they're all B&Ms that worked out well for the park.
Yeah.
And I feel like the GMs usually have a little something to say about this. It's not just corporate,
And then you also have on the list of Vekoma Family Multi-Launch.
which has been on like yes, five
Which
or
is
six of
which
these
is
surveys. Yeah.
if I don't see a half dozen of these in the next 3 years, then I'm going to be very disappointed by these surveys because I just expect Vekoma Family Multi launches almost at every park now. Almost like
Yeah, I want to see a thrill and a family one by 2028,
yes,
or I'm not
every
going to
single
believe these
park
surveys
needs
at all.
needs two. This is going to be like the new phase of Windseekers and Justice Leagues and Starflyers. We're going to see Vekoma Family Multi launches across the board. Um,
It's either gonna be a Goliath or a Vortex. Take your pick.
yeah. And so here's the danger that we have as we wrap it up here. The danger is you put out these surveys to all these parks. Now it's up to corporate to actually follow through on these things.
Hmm.
That you because I've said this for a while. I felt like the American market has been a little bit suffering, and not just the United States, but the whole North American market has been kind of like we kind of been like starting and stopping, like meandering. We've gotten a few nice things. I've said Universal seems to be the only company really putting in really spectacular roller coasters, which
Hmm.
blows my mind all of a sudden that Universal is the theme park leader in building coasters. So now that we have this information out there, it's really up to the parks to follow through. And if nothing is done, like if we see very minimal investments, I I'm gonna say what the hell is this for?
Yeah,
Like
and it could be a little bit of magician's choice because they don't really publish like the results. They won't say like, "Hey, well, 80% of the people who took the survey picked this, and that's why we
yeah.
went this way." I do know famously at one point, like when they put in Skull Mountain at Great Adventure, they put out a survey and they did publish the results, which I don't know why, but basically everybody was like, we don't like the idea of the word skull in a family ride because it's scary. And they were like, yeah, but we got a good idea, so we're doing it anyway?
Hey, why not, right? So and a lot of the stuff is I feel like a lot of the options are modest options that like I also feel that they do have a sense of what each park needs. Like I wasn't like overly shocked by, okay, they don't have a good sense of what the options here are. I felt like every single survey kind of honed in, like Cedar Point honed in on the exact right spot where I've been talking about for a while where they need to be. Carowinds right there, they need another major coaster. Every single one that we looked at, I thought really zeroed in on obvious needs of each park. And hopefully over the next 5 years, we talk about 5 year plans all the time. Maybe we'll do some 5 year plan stuff using these surveys in the future. But 5 year plans, like I kind of expect to see a lot of this stuff to be done. And some of the stuff doubled up, so maybe not that. Like Cedar Point was like a lot of things that kind of sounded alike, or if like drop top,
Yeah.
you get the idea. But I'm hoping to see some major investments here, from Six Flags across the board because it sounds like they need people in the parks.
Yeah, and the only way to get that is to improve guest experience, and investing in their rides is the easiest way to have that big impact to get people to show up.
Invest in your core business. Your core business is rides and roller coasters. That is your core business. You are not a food company. You're not a festival company. You are a theme park, rides, roller coasters company. Invest in your core business and people will come. Like that I feel that we've missed that drastically over the last few years, is that they have been ignoring their core business, focusing on other things like festivals and events and all this bullshit. And here we are, with people not entering the parks because they're fed up with being overcharged for things, not feeling that they have the right experience, not getting good service. And this is just generalities of things. And I don't think there's a single person besides maybe corporate that will disagree with me on these topics. But you have ignored your core business of roller coasters, and keeping them up and adding new things. And I would highly suggest that we also look at the maintenance budgets to make sure that these things keep running smoothly and actually operating, because there's nothing more frustrating for anybody, whether it be me as an enthusiast, whether it be my kids as kids going into a theme park. There is nothing more frustrating than walking into a park and having half your rides be closed because you don't have staffing or you don't have the maintenance to actually fix them. So it's another issue that drastically needs to be addressed on these surveys. And I know my mother, who filled hers out, has already said that why don't you actually open up your rides and maybe
Yeah.
people will come.
It,
Because
it is a theme I see in a lot of the pass holder groups that I'm in.
yeah, you have and even just with staffing, even if the rides, like we go to an event, we go to Cedar Point and half the kids' rides are closed and they're not open the whole day. And then each weekend, the list of rides at the front of the park gets longer and longer of what's not going to be open. And it's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Wow.
I'm all for adding more rides. You know me. I love adding more rides. But we also have to keep the rides that we have actually be open, and keep them operating, because people, there's nothing more frustrating than going to a park and having everything that you thought you were going to be riding now be closed because you don't have the maintenance or the staff. So it
Yeah.
needs to be addressed on these surveys. Feel free to quote me as you fill yours out. Say, hey,
Uh,
Robarchek said.
and before we sign out, while we're making unreasonable demands and pointing fingers,
Yeah.
don't paint Rolling Thunder, paint Nitro.
A good coat of paint would go a far way on a lot of these parks as well. I won't even get into that.
Yeah.
So, as always, I am Andrew Barczyk from Chicago, Illinois.
I'm Jeff Goodman on Long Island, New York.
Right on, Ride Warriors.
Good night.